Okay, this is activity ZA01. I've done this thing in class, but I would like to uh, introduce some differences in this video recording from how it was done in the class. Okay, so even if you watched me going through it in during the lecture, you will find it done a bit differently here. Now, it involves this problem, so we want to create a cavity for this injection molding process. So the part that we want to make is actually over here. So here is the mold, and obviously there's a gate here where plastic is injection, but I'm not going to model that. Now I'm going to do this thing using Boolean operation. Okay, but when it comes to creating these three-dimensional parts, I use surfaces in order to create things like this. Okay, therefore, first I'm going to go to the wireframe and surface design, or its more elaborate counterpart, which is generative shape design. But we can go to wireframe and surface design because that's all we need for at least this problem. So we go here. Notice that I'm in part design right now. I'm going to switch to mechanical design, not part design. I'm going to go to wireframe and surface design. And why I want to do it like this is the following. You can create this is how you make surfaces, and among these ways of making surfaces, there are two primitives that you can make. One is a sphere, and the other one is a cylinder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a big sphere and a little sphere and a cylinder. Okay, and as surfaces, because what you create here is actually when you use these are surfaces. But we know, or at least I'll show you, I'll show you that if we have a surface that is closed, then we can turn it by closing it, so-called closing it, we can turn it into a solid object. Okay. All right, so dimensions are not important here. And the way I did it in class, I introduced three more bodies here. First body had the big sphere. The second body has, when I say first body, obviously is body two that I'm talking about. Body two had the big sphere. Body three had the little sphere. And body four had the cylinder. And what here I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to create all these three things in the part body. You see, and then you see what I'm going to do. Okay. So first of all, so I'm going to everything that I do here is going to be in part body right now. So it's going to be a sphere. Now it says, what is this sphere that you're going to make? Remember, this is a surface. The center, I'm going to put it as 0, 0, 0. Now I don't have a point, so I'm going to say right click, create, and it's going to be 0.000. It's right there. But I want to make a full sphere. And let's say, well, I'll leave this dimension the same. So this is the dimension of that, the radius of that sphere. So we say, okay. All right. So notice that the sphere has been created. You know what? I'm going to call this thing properties. I'm going to call it big sphere, just so that I can see that better. Big sphere. Big uh, sphere. Okay, good. There we go. Oops. Properties. Big sphere. This P. Okay, good. Then I'm going to do another one. The little sphere. So another one. It says, what is the center? Now, I don't want the center to be 0, 0, 0. I select the center somewhere away from it. So right click, create a point, and I'm going to make it, for example, in the Y direction. Yeah, that'll do it. That's fine. That's fine. and we say okay, and it's going to be a full sphere, but the radius of it is going, I'm going to make it 0.3 maybe. Let's see how it looks like. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Good. So I have it, and I decided to call the, remember, we call this thing a small sphere, just so that we know who is who. Okay. All right. Now remember, these are not solid objects, okay? And for me to do Boolean operation, I need solid objects later on. And then I'm going to make a cylinder here, cylinder. The point that is talking about the center point of the cylinder, exactly halfway between the top and the bottom. Now, I want the center point to be somewhere here to minimize my work. So I'm going to say create a point. But this two, I'll make it one. How, let's see how one looks like. Yeah, sure. Maybe 1.3, maybe there. And then I say okay. And then the direction, right click in the direction Y. Okay. And the size of it, that radius is too big. So I'm going to make this thing, I'm going to make this thing 0.1. See how it looks like? Yeah, sure. That looks good. Okay. And we say okay. And I'm going to call this thing a cylinder. I'll leave it the way it is. Okay. Now I'm also going to create my mold, which is going to be just a box. We can do that later or we can do that now. I might as well do that now. So I'm going to do another one, but this time I'm going to, on the, let's say, XY plane, I will sketch. I'll sketch a centered square or rectangle, like that. Okay. Exit, and then pad it. Now, pad is not here, of course, right? And I'll just leave that sketch the way it is. Now, remember, these things are actually, these things are spheres. Sorry, these things are surfaces. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, okay, uh, while I'm here, I want to make this surface a solid sphere. So what I'm going to do is switch to part design, and there's an icon here that is let's see, actually it has a sub menu. This is thickening a surface. That's not what I want. This is closing making out of a closed surface makes a solid object. So look what happens. I select this and I select the big sphere. Okay. And uh, you know what? I rather do it a bit differently instead of I'm going to insert a body. This is body 2. Insert another body, body 3. Insert another body, body 4. I'm going to take this big sphere, put it in body 2. I'm going to take small sphere, put it in body 3, and the cylinder, I'll put it in body 4. Okay. Now I can do a little padding here to create that mold. I can pad this thing. Uh, okay, let's cancel that for a second. Let me see. Let's go back to the part body right here. Right click, defining inward object. Now can I pad this thing? I think this is clear in the other direction. And further down, yeah, that's good. Say okay. So notice that the part body has this big box, which I can hide right now. It's bothering me. Hide. Now we go here. Let's go to this body 2, which has the big sphere in it. So I'm going to go in the right click, define in work object, and click on this guy. Click on this guy. This guy takes a surface that is closed and turns it into a solid object. So I click on that and I select the big sphere and I say, okay. Now look what happened. If I hide this surface, look what I've got. I've got a solid object. Okay. I can't delete this because this closed surface is created from this big sphere. I cannot delete this. Now I'm going to go to this guy, right click, defining work object. I'm going to make another sphere. Okay. And once again, if you hide this thing, it's going to be a solid object. Okay. And finally, I go to this body, define in work object. I'm here now. Notice the underline. Yeah. And I'm going to close this cylinder. And notice what happened if I hide the surface. I've got 3 pieces. Now remember, that's what I need to do Boolean operation. If you look at my model that I want to make, it's essentially made of Boolean operation. So see what I mean? Now, the Boolean operation is right here. This is the Boolean operation toolbar. Let us add the small sphere, you see why, to the cylinder. Okay, so add Boolean operation. Remember the toolbar right there. Add. In this case, doesn't matter. You can also use assemble, but add the small sphere to body 4. Body 4 is the cylinder. You can see that. Okay, to body 4. Or cancel, you can do it the other way around. The only thing is that if I do it the other way around, add cylinder to something, immediately it goes up here and selects the part body. But so it's better if I did it like this. So I'm going to add small sphere to body 4. Okay, so we say okay. There we are. Now I'm going to add this thing that I made body 4 to body 2. But before I do that, I want to make a pattern of this body 4. See, right now I am in body 4. Okay, and I want to make a circular pattern of this. So go here, circular pattern, right there, circular pattern, complete crown, 4 of them. For the reference element, that is the z-axis. So basically rotated about the z-axis, and you say okay. There we are. Now I'm going to add body 2 or body 4. I'm going to add body 4 to body 2. So add again, add body 4, not to the part body. The reason it went to the part body is that body 4, it looks for the next body after it. There is nothing, so it goes all the way to the top. So I don't want that. I wanted to add it to body 2, right there. I select this and I say, okay, good. And now I'm going to subtract. Now I'm going to subtract or remove this body 2 from part body. So let's try it. Look on the remove. Here's a remove. Remove. Body 2. Immediately it goes to the next body, which is part body. And I say, okay. Now, the difference, the way I did it in class, I went and created body 2. In it, I made a sphere and closed it. And then I inserted body 3. In it, I made a little sphere and closed it. And body 4 instead of body 4. So here I created everything in the part body. And then created body 2, body 3, body 4. And moved those things into, move those spheres into those bodies, body 2, body 3, body 4, and within each of them, I extracted the, not extracted, I close those surfaces. All right, folks. So good luck. You have more experience in Boolean operation. You're starting surfacing today, and this was a prelude to it. Although we did actually, I did introduce you the wireframe and surface design, but I've never actually created a surface for you. This business of making a primitive, there's only a sphere primitive and the cylinder primitive. Sometimes it's very useful, as you can see. By the way, if you want to make a gate here so that the what is that, the plastic can be injected, for example, you can do the following. You can do on that face, you draw, if you want to make a gate so that exit, and you make a pocket in here with a small depth. Make it 0.05 maybe, preview, maybe point 1. Okay, so plastic can be injected through here, through this channel, and then it fills this thing, etc.